Well, hello and welcome to our devotion time. It's great to be with you today. We are continuing our story of Abram. And so let's start here. We're moving into Genesis 14 now. Blessed be Abram of God Most High, creator of heaven and earth, and blessed be God Most High. The Lord has been running to and fro on the earth looking for a man who will respond to his voice and follow him wherever he leads. And the Lord's eyes have lit squarely on this 75-year-old Abram, son of Terach, as we have come to discover. And it seems God has these great plans, these marvelous plans for the world through Abram, and it's kind of hard to comprehend. We do know that these plans are plans for world changing, and what are those plans? And I want to use one word there. This plan, the plan is grace, or amazing grace. And as we talk about last week, the Lord's dealings with Abram is this amazing outpouring of what our English word translates as grace. The Hebrew word is chin. And this is a word of covenant, a word of eternal commitment, and it's fairly well translated in English as grace, but it's much more than unmerited favor. It's bigger than that. Chin, and I guess would say in the simplest form, or hin, probably is the better pronunciation. A Hebrew scholar would probably crawl all over me pronouncing it so poorly. But it means whatever it takes to make a covenant work. That's the idea there. This word that's maybe translated grace in the Old Testament means whatever it takes to make the covenant God has with us work. It's this outpouring of God's grace, doing whatever it takes to nurture and to bless the interest of Abram, here in our story, Abram and Sarah, whom he has set his affections on. And he is calling to be first fruits of this covenant that we're going to discover here. That means that at times the Lord has purposely stepped out of eternity into time and out of infinity into space in order to encounter Abram. Isn't that a great imagery there? And God does that for us as well. It means that he who is the mystery of creation has spoken real words of earthly language to mere mortals. He has revealed his character, his aspects, his divine person. He's revealed and revealing who he is. And yet about the time Abram gets comfortable with this intimacy that the Lord has given him, the Lord follows up this time of intimacy with a withdrawing, withdrawing his manifest presence. It's like hiding his face. You'll find that in scriptures occasionally. And then at the moments totally of his own choosing, the Lord then reemerges. He stops hiding, so to speak. He reemerges from the shadows of time, space, and reengages with Abram again. Then he steps back into the shadows and hides his face again, and this seems to go on and on with Abram's story. Do we feel like that sometimes as well? And this pattern the Lord appears to be establishing with Abram, this God encounter, is to have a deep encounter with God, and then he pulls back and allows Abram to have life experience with the lessons that he's learned. And then he does that over and over again. a deep encounter, and the encounters, if as you read the story, you'll see. I think for our life too, they get deeper and deeper. These encounters and the life experiences get deeper as well. It's beginning to look a lot like a choreographed dance, and I guess in some ways that's exactly what it is. In the course of teaching this dance to these humans, Abram and Sarah, to us as well. The Lord has certainly been patient with Abram and his wife, and we can add us to that story as well. Abram and Sarah, they keep messing up. They keep taking missteps. They keep trying to lead the dance instead of follow. And God keeps turning their messes into these amazing blessings. And even though Abram is obviously still very human and fallible, he seems to be learning day by day, encounter by encounter, uh, life experience by life experience. He begins to trust the Lord's redemptive abilities more and more. And in the process of this ordinary mortal and his wife, they seem to be becoming more and more comfortable with the idea of having a relationship with the creator of the universe. And they seem to be getting more and more responsive to the Lord's voice with every passing trial. And so that's wonderful to see their growth and maturity, and I think that gives us hope that God can and will deal with us the same way as we mature in our faith. So what exactly is the Lord doing with all of this hands-on involvement with Abram and his wife, with humanity? Um, could all this in-depth personal involvement by the King of the universe uh, towards humanity have something to do with the promise that he made with Eve? You remember that way back we were studying to Eve in the garden, where God said your seed would crush the head of the serpent. Is it possible that what the Lord is doing is courting Abram in both a personal and I'm going to say a diplomatic sense, setting the stage for what the Lord would do with his descendants in Egypt, then with his descendants when they're in the wilderness, then when they're in the land, the promised land, or the beginning of the promised land, then when they're in their various places of exile until the final harvest, where he promised Noah in our previous study as well. God has a plan. He wants to make a covenant with Abram and his descendants, and we need to include ourselves as his descendants. And this covenant is, dare I say, is called to change the world. The Lord is ready to cut a covenant right now with us, but Abram, or I should say Abram, as we're in this story, but Abram's not ready. Abram, he's got to mature a little bit more in his relationship with God to the point that love for and trust of the Lord transcends the experience of any human that has lived before. And actually, as we read on, Abram becomes that becomes his most distinguishing characteristics. This trust, um, just I'm all yours, God. Um, but it takes time, and so I think today as we look at Abram, maybe our word, another word beyond grace, could be patience. Patience in the working of God in Abram's life. Maybe we can have patience on us as God continues to work in our lives and draw us to this covenant that he has made. And a while ago I said cut a covenant, and of course as we read Abram's story, I'll explain a little bit more about what that means. But today, let's ponder God's grace, whatever it takes to get it done in Abram's life, in our life. And patience. God has patience with us. We should have patience with us as well. Well, go in peace. See you Wednesday, hopefully, at the Bible study. You take care. I pray God's peace be with you. Bye now.